Hello boys and girls, this is Santa. I'm sorry I can't come and see you in person. The Queen has only given me dispensation for one night, and that's Christmas Eve. So therefore I can come in, use my magic dust, come into the house, leave your presents if you've been very good, and then go away. So I can't come and see you during the day, so I thought I'd use special means and use the computer. Tonight I want to read you a story of the legend of St. Nicholas. This is the book that I'm going to use. You may find it in your library at school if you want to read it. So we'll start our story, shall we? Nick followed his dad through the snow-dusted parking lot. Not my idea of fun, he muttered. Hey, you're the one who waited until the last minute to buy Christmas gifts. For your little brothers, Dad reminded him. True, Nick admitted. Why was it so much easier to think about getting gifts than giving them? And if you can see, there's Nick running through the snow with his dad and all the cars into the shops. Nick spotted a skinny Santa ring a bell and collecting for the poor. Dad handed Nick some money for Santa's kettle. Nick thought about adding something for his own wallet, but he was hoping to have enough left to get himself something. Once inside the crowded store, Nick smelled hot dogs and popcorn. Scratchy Christmas music played overhead. You get your gifts and I'll see this list your mother gave me, Dad called. Disappearing into the sea of shoppers, Nick headed for the toy aisle, but a baseball glove caught his eye. A few minutes later, he heard a deep voice saying his name. The voice belonged to the store Santa. Santa used to go by the name of Nick, or Saint Nicholas, he heard the Santa say to a group of children in the elf room. Nick remembered waiting for his parents in that room when he was a little kid, a long time ago. The store Santa continued. In a country far across the sea, a boy named Nicholas was born. Nick leaned against the doorway and listened. Nicholas' parents were very rich. They travelled all over the world with their son. When Nick was 8, they visited beautiful gardens in the Far East. Nicholas noticed children begging for food. When Nicholas turned 10, his parents took him to the West. Nicholas couldn't sleep at night because he kept thinking about the longing eyes of the children in the streets. The children had never owned a toy. On his 12th birthday, Nicholas and his family journeyed to the north. Nicholas waved to the children playing in the snow. Why aren't they wearing coats and hats? He asked. His parents exchanged sad looks. They probably don't own coats and hats, Nicholas, his father said. A few years later, they visited the Holy Land, where baby Jesus had been born that first Christmas. In this holy place, God gave us the greatest gifts ever given. Nicholas' father's remark. Imagine how much God loves us to give us his only son. To honour and celebrate God's amazing gift, 3 wise kings brought gifts for the Christ child. Nicholas' mother said as the church bells rang out. Not long after they returned home, Nicholas' parents died. Nicholas felt lost and alone. He had plenty of money, but no idea what to do with it. He looked at his friends for help. If I had that much money, said Joseph, I'd pay all our bills because my father is out of work. I would buy my mother's a warm coat, Thomas added. Phoebe gazed at the stars. My 2 sisters wanted to marry, but we don't have the money that's required from the bride's family. If I had the money, I would give it to my sisters for this dowry. She sighed. and if I had enough, I would do the same for myself. Nicholas knew that his friends would never get their wishes unless. That night, Nicholas talked things over with God. Father, could this be the work you have for me? As if in answer, the church bells rang. Nicholas remembered what his mother had said about the wise kings bringing gifts to baby Jesus. He thought of what his father had said about Jesus being the greatest gift. What better time to give gifts than on Jesus' birthday? Nicholas could barely hold his excitement. First he tromped through the falling snow to Joseph's house. He opened a window and tossed in enough gold coins to allow them to buy their own home. Next he woke the town tailor, bought his finest coat. Nicholas ran all the way to Thomas's house and stuffed the coat through the open shutters. Nicholas' last stop was at Phoebe's house. He tied coins to 3 bags for 3 dowries and searched for an open window. Nicholas was about to give up when he looked into heaven and prayed for God's guidance. Then he thought of the chimney. On Christmas Day, Nicholas's friends came running to his house. "It's a miracle! It's a miracle!" Joseph exclaimed. "God must have heard my prayers." "We're all given a gift as well," Thomas began. "My mother hasn't taken off her new coat since she found it this morning." Phoebe's eyes sparkled like sunlight on snow. "My sisters will marry next month." She smiled at Joseph. "Now I too can marry." We don't know who else to thank, so we thank God. Overcome with joy, Nicholas understood his mission in life, that would be to celebrate Christmas from now on. When the story ended, Nicholas shook himself. A part of him was back with Nicholas. He could imagine how good it must have felt to secretly give to his friends what they had wanted most. Nick had almost forgotten why people gave presents at Christmas. He wanted to feel the same joy of giving. "Nick, time to go," Dad walked up with his arms full of shopping bags. "We can't go yet, Dad." Nick never imagined buying gifts could be so much fun. He found just the right ties for his brothers. Then he spent everything he had left on toys for the poor. "I wish I had enough to fill the whole collection box," he told Dad. Nick felt sure he'd never look at Christmas the same way. He wanted to remember the gifts of St. Nicholas, the gifts of the wise kings, and most of all, God's gift of baby Jesus. So children, when you get up on Christmas morning and you've got all these gifts given to you by your friends and your mum and dad, nan and granddad, think of St. Nick and think of God and baby Jesus, and have a lovely evening and good night. Bye bye.